Alrighty, how's it going? How's it going? I'm gonna be showing you guys how to use the MDT. It is very new in our city. It just came out. At the time I'm making this video, it came out yesterday. So we are learning the same time as you guys. But of course, I am gonna show you guys how to do everything. So whenever you open MDT, to open MDT, by the way, do T/MDT, such as this, or you can open F8 and type bind keyboard K MDT, and this letter K right here can be any letter or number on your keyboard, and whenever you press that button after pressing enter right here, it'll pop up your MDT. So for example, if I press K, it pops up my MDT. That is one thing that I want to throw out there. It saves you the hassle of having to go over here and type MDT. I can just press K, and whenever you load up your MDT, you're going to see recent warrants and bolos, of course. So for example, we have Trey Atwater right here. Say we're in a traffic stop and we pull over Mr. Atwater right here. What would we be doing is, approaching the suspect in an RP manner, ask for their identification, go in the Citizens tab right here, and search the suspect's name, Trey Atwater, and as you can see, if he has a warrant for his arrest, there will be a hazard sign right next to his name right here. If they do not have a warrant, this will not be here. You can see all registered weapons in their name throughout the time of them being in the city. Same with the vehicles. You can see any reports and incidents that they are involved in. So for example, I've done multiple tests with my crim, for example, and I'm going to show you guys that. Chucky Santana. So as you guys can see, if I go to related incidents, my crim is part of a related incident that I just made a video for. Okay, so you'll be able to see the past of that these suspects have that you have pulled over. And of course, you'd be seeing if they have a warrant. You can do the same with vehicles. You could check if the vehicle has a bolo, etc. If you grab the license plate and type that in right here. And then now we're gonna go ahead and go to reports. Reports right here. This is pretty much for GIU and narcotics, I believe. So this is nearly useful until you go to a division where they use that more often. Right here is incidents. This is what we are going to be mainly using. Charges right here, if you want to get used to the charges, the times, the fines. You do not have to use this. You can find all this information while in an incident, but if you want to get comfortable with it all, of course, you could check right there. And then we have the categories. So what we're going to go ahead and do is go to incidents and create a incident. As you can see, it created an incident, and it is the suspect's name, most severe charge, badge number, and name, but your location. What I suggest doing at the time of me making this video, there is a bug. So what I'm going to do is get this incident number 13357. You do not have to copy it, but that's what I'm going to do. And to save my hassle, go to reports and click reports. And then click reports again and click incidents. I did this to refresh my screen. And what you're going to want to do is type in that incident number that we had, 13357. So the reason you're wanting to do that is because whenever you initially make the MDT at this point in time, it completely bugs out. It's a bit weird. It will not save. So I highly recommend you to close it after you create it, note the incident number, and then reopen the incident, because it's just a bug at the moment. It'll get fixed, I'm assuming. But let's go ahead and start working on it. First thing I suggest changing is the location. This is where the scene happened. So say for example there was a shooting at Maine PD, I would be putting 629 Dorset Drive. That's where Maine PD's address is. Alright, so after you do that, click save incident over here, and then there's a title right here. What we're gonna go ahead and do is type the suspect's name. I'm gonna put my crim on here, Chucky Santana. We're gonna say that he got in trouble for Grand Theft Auto, and then click save incident over here at the bottom where it's. Alright, so what you're going to want to do, this is the preset. Suspect's name, of course. Most severe charge, we're going to say that he's just getting charged with Grand Theft Auto. And your first initial, last name, and then your call sign. Okay? and then just make sure you always click save with the title and the location. Also with the gallery over here, if you are taking somebody's mugshot, click add image. We're gonna say as if somebody's right here, right in front of me. Click G to take the picture, and it may take a moment to load up. Just give it a moment. And as you can see, click save instant, and as you can see, one image added. And then we can go over here to evidence, say that this slushy is a Glock 19. We're gonna add some pistol ammunition. So the suspect, for example, we're saying this slushy is a Glock 19. He has a Glock 19 and 15 pistol rounds. Go ahead, and you do not have to save for evidence, which is pretty interesting. And involved officers, you do not have to save incident, and the same with involved citizens, you do not have to save that as well. The only thing on this right side that you have to click save incident on is the mugshot, so make sure you remember that. Also, whenever you're over here on the bottom left on add notes, after you fill this out, you do have to click save incident for that as well, and I'll be showing that shortly. But what I'm going to show you right here real quick, 13357, we're going to go ahead and find this incident number report again. And as you can see, everything is saved on here. We have the mugshot. As you can see, we have the mugshot, the involved officers. We didn't do the involved citizens. I don't know if I did that or not. Chucky Santana. All right. And then we have the title, the location. So what we're gonna do, whenever you're typically sending somebody out and you want to send them out as fast as possible, do everything that I suggested. Do the title, the location. Don't do involved officers until after the suspect is sent out. You're gonna want to do all this: the title, the location, take their mugshot, and then escort them to a cell, where you will then, after they are in a cell, you will do another search to make sure that they have everything illegal off of them, such as contraband, drugs, any weapons if it's a felony, and etc. And after that, you can uncuff them, put them close to the cell. So for example, say I'm holding somebody right here and I'm taking them in this cell. Go ahead and say I have a suspect in front of me. Place him about right here and press E to let go of him while you're escorting him. Say he's right there, and then, for example, if I press F2, my handcuffs hotkey is on number 3. So see right here, if I press number 3, it'll uncuff the suspect through the fence, and he'll be able to walk around. At this point in time, you will ask him if he's wanting to contact a lawyer, and go from there. If he's not wanting a lawyer, go ahead and go back on the MDT and get ready to send them out. What you would do with that is click send off. You would select their name, click the drop down, and what we'll be looking for is the charges, and these are the categories of charges. So for example, we are looking for Grand Theft Auto. Let's see, where would that be? Interesting. Okay, it's under traffic violations. So that is, as you can see, $5,000 fine, jail time 15 months. Of course, if they had other charges, you would add on to that. If you pulled them over for reckless driving and then turned out they had the stolen vehicle, you would hit them with reckless driving as well. As you can see, that added it up the time and the fine. I'm gonna remove that for the time, because at this moment I'm just gonna have Grand Theft Auto. At that point, you would read them off their charges. This guy's getting charged with Grand Theft Auto. Chucky Santana, you are being charged with Grand Theft Auto today, with a $5,000 fine and 15 months. You will try to get a reduction. You will go on the radio and say, is there any higher ups that are able to approve a reduction for, and then say the charge for Grand Theft Auto, and they will approve a set reduction that you can give the suspect. So for example, let's say I went in the radio and I got a 30% reduction from J. Elijah. What I would do is get that 30% reduction. As you can see, adjusted the fine and the time. That is now 3,510 months. You would say that to the suspect, and you would ask them if they plead guilty or not guilty. And if they plead guilty, you would well, if they don't plead, even if they don't plead guilty and they don't have legal assistance, you would still complete and you would send them out. So as you can see, what we're gonna do from here, I'm gonna go ahead and reset that again. 5-7. All right, so what you're gonna do, say we just sent the suspect out, what you're gonna want to do from here is typically do your involved officers. Of course, you do this afterwards. I did it just to show you guys that I didn't have to save it earlier. The involved citizens will already be attached. I don't know why it's gone now. You would do your evidence here. So you would do everything after sending the suspect off just to save their time. You want to do this whenever you're done with them, okay? And then add notes. This is pretty important. So you can only edit this one time. So I'm going to show you guys right here. I'm going to fill out a summary and everything for you guys so you guys can get an idea of what an MDT looks like for me. Okay. And didn't have legal assistance. Okay, that's the type of thing that I would put in notes. If they were non-compliant, I would put non-compliant. Typically, people are compliant. If they plead guilty, you note that. If they don't plead guilty, put plead not guilty. And if they didn't have legal assistance, I would suggest typing that. If they did have legal assistance, I would suggest putting did, of course. It's just good to have those notes. Let's say we got the fine. It was $3,500. I believe the time was 10 months. It was a 30% reduction, and let's say it got approved by J Elijah 239 on the radio. Okay, so we have that all filled out. We have the GSR test. If you tested them for GSR and they tested negative, what I would suggest doing is just putting NA. If they test positive, of course you would put positive. That's more for like a shots fired, or if an officer was shot, etc. You are able to see if they shot their weapon, and you can charge them with unlawful discharge, or if they assaulted a Leo, etc. You know who shot the gun if you test them for GSR. So we have seized items right here. I believe I put something in there. I put a slushy, maybe. Yeah, I put a slushy and 15 pistol rounds, I'm pretty sure. So, and we had a slushy acting as if a Glock 19 with 15 pistol rounds. And then, yeah. And then we have the summary of events. Right here, you were going to summarize in third person what happened. So, for example, we're going to say Officer 618, which is myself. You're going to want to speak in third person, of course, as I mentioned. Officer 618 was on patrol near Dorset Drive when coming across. Law enforcement. Alright, so as you can see, I just made up a complete scenario. But this is an idea of what you guys could be doing. Officer 618 was on patrol near Dorset Drive when coming across suspect Chucky Santana driving recklessly. Law enforcement officers initiated a traffic stop having the suspect stop near 629. He was checking for identification and registration. Actually, I should not be putting he right here. It should be 618. Our officer Barton was checking for identification and registration where the vehicle soon after came back and stolen. Officers asked the suspect to step out of the vehicle, and he soon after was placed in cuffs and read his rights as he was escorted to a pursuit vehicle. He was transported to 629 Main PD, where he was processed and booked for his charges. So that's just a summary of everything that happened. This is just an idea. Always speak in third person, of course. And whenever you are done filling out all this, click submit, and make sure you guys click save incident right here. And as you can see, it's over here on the left side. So if you go ahead and go back 13357, as you can see, everything is saved. So that is how you create an incident. So yeah, that's pretty much it. If you guys have any questions, ask your instructors. If you have any comments, etc., just ask your instructors. And yeah, I hope this is helpful for you guys.